Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's Elizabeth and I'm coming to you from Sedona, Arizona. This is going to be a collective message and collective reading. So it's all signs and it's for the week ahead. So the week of June 6th. This is going to be a powerful week in that we have a solar eclipse and a new moon in the sign of Gemini, and that's on the 10th. So I wanted to do a check-in, and I also wanted to use my newest deck, which I'm so in love with. For those of you who grew up in the 80s or even remember this just from later in life, when you were growing up, The Last Unicorn was one of my favorite all-time movies. It just holds all of the magic of my childhood. It's so near and dear to me. And when I saw that Geekify Inc. Made this deck, and the artwork is real, it's the real thing. The cards are beautiful. I've been working with them for the last week, so I'm ready to use them in a reading. So I wanted to use that deck tonight. We'll get some crystal cards and some astrology cards and just see where it goes. So thank you all for being here. Let's get some messages for this week ahead, and we're going to start with an astrology card because there is so much going on in the sky, and as above, so below. So let's see what is happening for the collective. I invite in the angels, the guides, ascended masters, galactics, and ancestors of the highest love and light who would like to work with us tonight, share this space, and bring us the highest and best messages for all of you, myself included, going into the week ahead, what we can expect, advice, what we can look forward to, and just hopefully get some insight and some great messages. So thank you, Spirit, for joining us. Okay, here we go. So one message, highest and best message, overall energy for the week ahead, June 6th. And if you're seeing this later, it may absolutely apply to you. We are working with the quantum field here. Time is not linear, and we all move through energy at our own pace and in our own fashion. And I already see what this is. The 11th house of friends. Beautiful. I love this. So this is the house that we normally see Aquarius in. So 11th house, house of Aquarius. And about friends, and it's a number 35, so that breaks down to an 8. So something going on inside the collective with friends, and the 8th house of endings and beginnings. So this is interesting. You know, this is Gemini season, and so in Gemini season, you know, we have Venus just moved into Cancer, but we had the Sun, the North Node of the Moon, Mercury, which is retrograde in Venus, in Gemini, Mercury retrograde in Venus. See, Mercury retrograde in Gemini. There's a lot of Gemini energy. So it makes us curious and a little more open-minded, very analytical, wanting to learn new things, wanting to meet new people. So the energy of new friends, the energy of old friends, the energy of starting new relationships, the energy of ending old relationships, it's all here. So that's a very interesting energy. So we have Aquarius and Scorpio energy with the 8th house. So this 8th house energy, it's Pluto, and so it is a transformative energy. It is a more difficult energy, and this could be related to the lunar eclipse that we had in May, and going back to that and sort of seeing what's left your life. Perhaps what's been sort of just cleared away. This is a very karmic period that we're moving through. It's like a karmic cycle completing. So here's the ending to that. And we see a nod to like a pharaoh here. So there is like this sort of wisdom that happens around this time, and around this sort of energy of transformation and death. But it's also really beautiful because we have 11th house, and that's where Aquarius sits. And it's interesting that it says friends here, because, you know, it really is about like our connections with the collective. So Aquarius is a house of great creativity and sort of genius, and it's an air sign like Gemini, so it's the higher mind and a lot of analytics and thinking, but it's also where it's about the collective. You know, Aquarius is the sign of humanitarianism, philanthropy, large groups of people, being in a group with other people. So it's really speaking to that. It's where in your life you could see, like, inside of your friend group, inside of your office, inside of your, you know, work situation, even inside of your family, where there's changes happening. It took me a while to get that out, 5 minutes, but where there's changes happening. And let's check the bottom of the deck. Mercury retrograde, you can't make this up, and that's why I'm even sort of having trouble like speaking right now, so please bear with me if you can. Mercury retrograde, reinvention. Now Aquarius 11th house, or the 11th house, is the house of invention. It's future thinking, it's progress, it's innovation, it's where we have vision, great vision. And here we have Mercury retrograde, which we are in, and actually we're almost at the midpoint of Mercury retrograde. That happens on the 11th, just a few hours after the solar eclipse. On the 11th is the exact midpoint of Mercury retrograde. And it has a name, some kind of like astrological name to it, but it's where there's like a moment of brilliance, a moment of innovation, a spark of genius. 11th house, genius. So at that time, like, I think like around the solar eclipse and then the day after, and I'm kind of like looking over there at my calendar, you may have this like, oh my God, I'm going to reinvent the wheel. You know, it could be about yourself. You're like sort of reinventing yourself. There's this great idea, write it down, make a note of it, make a memo, like whatever that looks like. And then sort of like, wait and see what happens when Mercury goes direct, and if you're still passionate and inspired by it. So I love that came out. It does feel like there's definitely changes that are happening inside of your inner circle, inside of your community, and you really may have an opportunity for like new relationships, new friends, new work situations, or you're seeing some things kind of end. And if they're not ending, it doesn't mean that like you're breaking up with your best friend, you know, you may be, but you know, it doesn't have to mean that. It could mean that there's just things transforming inside of your relationships, even with your family, that there's just a transformation that's happening. People have changed a lot. We've all really changed a lot, don't you think? So, all right. Let's get into the tarot, shall we? I feel like it's just time to go to tarot. So I really apologize if this is not making a lot of sense. I will have to watch it back, but I am going to post this. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, guides, for providing us with clear messages for the collective for the week of June 6th. And I've already pre-shuffled these, so let's just get started. And these are the beautiful cards of the Last Unicorn Tarot. If anyone is interested, it's Geekify. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, angels. Thank you, guides. And thank you to the Ascended Masters and galactic energies of the highest love and light. What are the highest and best messages? The Hermit. Okay, so we've got the Hermit with the World. Beautiful. The Chariot. Okay, we have all major arcana here. The Four of Wands and the Queen of Swords. So there's that air energy. The Queen of Swords coming out to perhaps represent you right now, or someone that you're dealing with, someone important. But it's Libra energy, and it is that air energy. And we're moving through a lot of air energy right now. So what I'm seeing this Queen of Swords as is it's like, telling the truth, speaking some harsh truths perhaps, okay? Now, the Hermit was the first card that came out, and this may be how some of you are feeling. The energies are very intense. You're taking a time out, you're doing some reflection, all of the re-words that are associated with retrograde. So reflection, review, you know, just think of all of the re-words. And this really could be where you're at. It's Virgo energy. Because intuitively, you know that there's a big cycle that's ending. So here we have the World, okay? And I love this card so much. This is the butterfly that's from this movie. And he's super otherworldly. Like even for our heroine, the Last Unicorn, this butterfly he speaks in riddles, he's singing, he's so like out there, and she's trying to get answers from him. And he's speaking and singing to her in riddles. So it's something that she really has to go within and really dig deep in order to sort of solve a mystery. And that may be where some of you are at. You know, this is wrapping up of a really big cycle. It's Saturn energy, Virgo and Saturn. So this is Saturn energy. It's where there's victory. It's where, you know, by doing this, you know, there's victory, because you're not trying to bypass anything. You're really digging deep. You're really wanting to do the work. And these are hard-earned lessons. So this is that karmic period that I was talking about with the transformation, endings and beginnings of lunar eclipse energy, that, you know, these eclipse energies don't just happen, you know, overnight. It can take, you know, 6 months for us to really wrap it up. But for some of you, and just because we are in such an energetically accelerated time in history, the energies are very accelerated. You know, this may be happening faster with regards to the energies of the eclipse. I noticed it. I was experiencing things like 2-3 weeks before the lunar eclipse, like boom, you know, it was happening. So victory, ending of a huge cycle, and you really know yourself a lot better. You've paid off a lot of these karmic debts, or, you know, there's just been there's a clearing that's happening, a lot of endings, but it's leaving room for so much more. And that's where we see the Chariot coming out next. So this is forward movement. This is where, you know, you're getting your heart right, and you're getting clear in your mind, like the Queen of Swords. You know, this energy of this Queen of Swords, it may seem harsh. People may not particularly like where you're coming from. You know, even if you're not speaking it, you're showing it through your action. That's the Chariot. It's all about action. So this is where the mind and the heart, they come together. They know what they want. There's great determination and will here, and this is another card of victory. So like, it's victory, you guys. It really is. But with this Queen of Swords, you know, there may be people in your life perhaps that don't like where you're going in your Chariot. They may not like it. You know, it's a difficult energy for some people, because it means that you may be seemingly leaving them behind, even if you're not. You know, but it's like this new version of you. Now, the people who have been with you during this process, and like, you're kind of on the same page, you're going to be doing this together. And that's where you're going to find your celebration. That's where you're going to find your stability. That's where you're going to find, you know, where relationships and people and situations in your life are not going anywhere, where you've built the foundation and it's solid. And I love this card so much. Let's just take a moment. So this is the energy of Robin Hood and Marianne. And what happened was, well, I won't spoil the movie, but you see how there's sort of like, there's like these bubbles that are surrounding them, and they're like in that Sherwood forest. They were sort of an illusion. The magician in the movie, Schmendrick, he sort of like manifested them. He cast a spell to sort of glamour the outlaws that were in the woods. So anyway, Marianne, Maid Marian and Robin Hood appeared. And, you know, they're in a lot of folklore, these two. It's a very special energy. So for some of you, this energy is about moving forward towards a positive relationship, you know, towards a higher level love. You know, with the 4 wands, it's symbolic of the 1111. There's an 11 and there's the other 11. So, you know, all of this energy is like moving you towards relationships that are solid, you know, the purging of what needs to be purged, so that, you know, you can bring in these higher level relationships, higher level situations that are more aligned with you. In the Chariot here, we see the prince or the knight here, he's slaying the dragon. So there is this energy of clearing away the denser energies, clearing out our own inner demons, you know, things that have really been brought to light, okay, over the last year, over the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, perhaps our whole life. So there is this energy of sort of like slaying that inner dragon, you know, and clearing karma. It's where you have a lot of courage to really face these things, to really face this energy. It's great, great courage here. Chariot's a card of Cancer. So it's things that there's a lot of emotion around. And it's also things where, you know, now it's working towards a sense of safety and security. Fourth house. So that Four of Wands and the Chariot with the Cancer energy, it really is about like, you know, this is what you're clearing the way for. This is what you're moving towards, right? But it wasn't easy. And you really had to, you know, sort of go within like that hermit and solve a lot of these riddles. You know, you've been handed a key. You're being handed a key. You're going to be handed a key. And it's really leading to greater peace in your life. But it may require that you be painted as the bad guy by people who aren't going to understand. You may be seen as the evil one, you know, because how dare you? How dare you? So, so those are the messages. And I think we'll pull some more cards. But yes, this energy of reinventing yourself, of really reviewing. Gemini season, it's highly analytical. So, and with Mercury retrograde there, it's like we're really doing the work to really, really go within, like that hermit does. So let's get a few more cards from the tarot. And I didn't even check the bottom of the deck. Yes, the Six of Cups, making peace with the past. It's a big one, you know, especially when there may have been a lot of painful endings, especially when there may have been some disappointments. You know, inside of like people that you thought, you know, were your people, jobs that you really thought were your jobs, whatever that looks like for you. So really making peace with the past, healing of the inner child. This is, this energy is Molly Grew. Excuse me. And so I'll just tell you about this card. So Molly Grew is a woman, and she sort of left society and went out into the woods with these outlaws in the movie. And, you know, she's a woman who sort of lost her dreams. She's of a certain age. It looks like she never found true love. It's like, you know, she lost hope, really. And as she is in the woods, it's just a normal day, and she's with this group of outlaws. And along comes the last unicorn, because the last unicorn is on a search for others like her. She left the forest, her forest. She left it to find others like herself. So it was a big decision that this unicorn made. She was wondering why she was the only one of her kind. And she meets up with, all these things happen, but she meets up with this magician, and he's a young magician. He is not the magician, okay? He doesn't have a lot of confidence in himself. So the two of them go on together he wants to help her, and he actually frees her from something that happened, and he wants to help her. They run into these outlaws, and it's really just Schmendrick the magician, and the unicorn is sort of, you know, she's back in the forest, just kind of looking out. But she shows herself to Molly Grew. She sees something in Molly, and Molly sees her. Molly can actually see her horn, and most mortals would see the unicorn as just a white mare. But Molly sees her, and Molly gets very angry, and starts crying. And she's saying to the last unicorn, like, why now? How dare you? Why are you coming to me now when I've lost all hope? I'm old, and look at me. I have no life. I've given up on my dreams. I've just given up. How could you come to me now after all these years? And so she just has her moment. She expresses it. It's that Cancer energy, you know, very emotional, very vulnerable. It's an interesting moment, and it's so beautiful because in a flash, you know, they embrace, and it's as if, you know, Molly, her hope has been restored. It was like an instant healing of her inner child, and her heart is opening again. Hope is restored. And basically, Molly leaves the forest and the outlaws and goes off with the last unicorn and Schmendrick the magician, and they have a big adventure. So that's making peace with the past. It's a gift that you give to yourself. is, you know, restoring your own hope. This is also an energy of reconciliation, lost love coming back. It is Mercury retrograde. So perhaps for some of you, there are people who may be coming back. You know, they've changed. They've been through some changes. They've reinvented themselves. Could have been, you know, a very good friend, an old friend, a lover, someone like that. So there's an opportunity for reconciliation here. And, you know, and there may be like some truths that are going to have, you know, conversations that are going to have to be had. But with the Queen of Swords, she really does see all sides of things. You know, she's very fair and balanced. Okay, so that was the bottom of the deck. So I'm just going to put that back, and we've gone 20 minutes. And that's, sorry guys, that's way too many cards. Bear with me. Okay, let's just give them a quick shuffle, and then I think we'll do a few more cards and then a couple of oracle cards and just see where we go. So thank you, Spirit. Thank you, angels. Thank you, guides. And thank you to the Unicorn Collective for being here tonight as well. Thank you to the unicorns. Okay, here we go. Let's get some additional messages. Three of Swords. Yeah, there's that broken heart. So there is this energy, you know, the Hermit goes within because there are unresolved issues within the heart, you know. So this is why we go into Hermit mode. We're not just doing it because we're bored or, you know, because there's nothing else to do. We go within for a reason. And even sometimes, you know, when you're hermiting a bit, you may not even be aware of it because it can be very subtle. You know, you may still be going out and doing all of the things, but there is the sort of energy of being more quiet, reflective, you know, and you may be sleeping a little bit more or just like wanting to lay in bed a little bit more. So there is an energy of, you know, some betrayal and a little bit of, you know, pain in the heart. The Magician. So here we have this beautiful energy. Now this is not Schmendrick. This is the King's Magician, and he's been in the King's Court for a very long time. He's very experienced. He's got a lot of confidence. And with this energy, you know, it's saying like, you know, you are able to really manifest a whole lot right now inside of this space of being very determined to move your life forward towards more positive things. That you're going to be in a space to manifest because you have made space. So the endings, the beginnings, this is it right here. You know, you've created space. So there's a definite opportunity. It's Mercury. This is a card of Mercury. So it's also about having confidence in yourself, really having confidence. It's communication. You know, it's working with the elements, it's alchemy. So taking what you have in the moment, all of the tools that you have, taking them and alchemizing them and working with them. And with Mercury retrograde, you may really be thinking about like what your resources are right now, exactly what you have and how you can use it, how you can reinvent yourself, doing some things that are a little bit different. Okay. So let's get a few more and see what else we have here with the Ace of Wands. Nice. I love this. And let me just get the last two. Beautiful, beautiful energy. The High Priestess with the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. Beautiful. So there's just a lot of clarity that's coming in. Like, and it's interesting because I do have some notes about where I was talking about that midway point of Mercury retrograde, and that may be where this spark comes in with the Ace of Wands here. So it's like the spark comes in, the inspiration, wanting to grow something, you know, and it kind of happens fast. So it's happening quickly, and it's all there for you. It's really about trusting yourself. High Priestess. It's really going to be about trusting yourself, trusting everything that you've learned in that World card, trusting where you've been. This is also where like some secrets can be revealed. And I feel like that was a big theme, because it's coming out with the Ace of Swords, where like you really have a whole new truth, and you've really perhaps learned some truths about people in your life, situations in your life. It's a really, really beautiful energy. It's like a reward. You know, there really is a reward here from all of the hard work that you've done, from this world energy. You know, it's a reward. The High Priestess in this deck especially is also about like a remembrance. So our brave unicorn, she becomes mortal. It's a whole story, but she becomes human in the movie, and I won't tell you what happens, but she becomes mortal, meaning she can die. You know, that's a possibility for her. And she's no longer like this mythical creature. She's living, you know, as a human. And this is where, in the High Priestess energy, it's like she starts getting amnesia. She can't remember who she is anymore. And this is where there's a remembrance. So this is about you also, like remembering who you are. So with that energy of making peace with the past, you know, this can happen when your heart's broken, when there's grief, when there's pain, when there's loss. Your parts of you sort of fragment. This is where you've given away your power in your life. So it's almost about calling back some of your soul pieces, calling back pieces of yourself that you've given away to situations or people, that you've, you know, it's that slaying of the dragon energy too. You know, that's sort of like what he's doing there. That's where the courage and the nobility is. And it's a remembrance. So the High Priestess is sort of passive in her energy. She's not the knight, you know, she's passive. And so this is a quiet remembrance. And you can see like, you know, the sort of like tears in her eyes here. She's like remembering who she was as a unicorn. And so there is this inspiration. We can see here, it's almost like she's receiving her own horn, okay, that was sort of taken away from her when she was turned into a mortal. It's where you're holding your own magic. The wand is from within you. You're holding your own magic, and you're receiving a truth. It's a higher truth. This is also very clear communication. So what I see activating, like with this Queen of Swords and the Ace of Swords, it's like you are going to have an opportunity to perhaps clear the air with people. If you're in a place where you need to, where you want to have some conversations, then it's an opportunity for you to reach out. But also, just as the Queen of Swords does, just to receive. And speak with a lot of clarity and a lot of truth. You know, you really do have a lot of honor on your side here, a lot of nobility. Yeah, Magician. And it's interesting because we almost get like the Magician and the High Priestess. I often see them as divine counterparts, or like, you know, in the ethers. Some people would say High Priestess with the High Priest or the Hierophant, but I usually see the High Priestess with the Magician, like in my mind's eye. So there is a divine counterpart here. And for some of you, I just am seeing like maybe having new clarity over an old relationship, maybe finally really putting it to bed, you know, letting it go, releasing it. And because the Six of Cups came out, I see for some of you, there really may be an opportunity to reconcile with some important people in your life, or at least clear the air. And I believe this was a message that came out, I want to say around Aries season. Anyway, so going back to April, so maybe this could have been something that happened in April. Okay. Yeah, bottom of the deck, we've got the Five of Wands. So this is where, you know, there's the drama and the conflict and the fighting, and it's like really just wanting to put that to bed, really wanting to move away from all of that. I mean, it's always going to be there. You know, you're never going to have, well, never say never, but, you know, these kinds of relationships and situations can come in just to test us, to show us, you know, are we able to handle it in a way that's, you know, in alignment with our heart, Or do we still have some work to do, you know? So these situations can be great teachers, the Five of Wands, but it is showing, you know, where there has been just some, you know, conflicts, maybe some fighting, some drama. And with that, you know, with that lunar eclipse energy, it's like it's just being eclipsed out. It's gone. So I feel like let's get an outcome card, a couple of outcome cards, because you got two aces here and a lot of really great insight, inspiration, truth, clarity, inner knowing, a remembrance of who you are. You've got the Magician, being able to create whatever you want, you know. And we've got the Four of Wands with the Chariot, like really wanting to move towards like beautiful, harmonious relationships. And perhaps some of you, you know, have that. And it's sort of being like you're realizing how lucky you are. That's a message for some of you, you know, inside of your relationships, the ones that are beautiful and harmonious and, you know, really a blessing for you. You're really seeing that during this eclipse season. So let's get an outcome card for the next, we'll say 30 to 60 days for the collective. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, angels. Queen of Wands. Yeah, this is really beautiful. So we've got, you know, the Queen of Swords that came out and now the Queen of Wands. I love this Queen of Wands because she's sort of like a kitchen witch. You know, she's cooking up things in the kitchen. And this is where Molly Grew, who we were talking about, you know, she comes into power, her own personal place of power. You know, she's confident in herself again. You know, she's got this little cat who's a pirate here. And, you know, there's a sense of magic about her. She's inspired again. And she's ready to do something. She's ready to push something forward. It's like she finally feels her flame reignited. She even looks younger now, you know? So that's really beautiful. This is Aries Leo energy. So this is, you know, knowing what you want and really going for it. That's what the Queen of Wands does. She's independent in that too. You know, she doesn't rely on friends or people or anything. She's really able to do it on her own. And not that I think, you know, you're going to have to, but it really is a very sovereign energy. It's really beautiful. So what else can we say about her? You know, she's inspired. She's not afraid to be seen. She puts herself out there. And in this situation, you know, I love it because, like I said, she's like the kitchen witch here with the spoon. So her spoon is her wand. So you may really be cooking something up over the next month or two in your kitchen. For some of you, this could be a potential partner coming into your life. Underneath at the bottom of the deck is the Page of Coins. So yeah, you know, setting off on a new path. This is an opportunity, you know, for something very solid, getting your plans ready. You know, some of you could be moving, looking to move, starting a new business venture, you know, so it's about like grounding this energy and following through and getting serious. And let's get one more. Let's get an advice card. What is the advice for the collective? Next 30 to 60 days, highest and best message. Eight of Wands. Get moving, guys. Beautiful. I love this. So this is where the last unicorn, she, you know, really decides to go for it. She wants to know what happened to the other unicorns, why she hasn't seen any in so long. And this is her forest. It's protected her. Inside of this forest, you know, she feels safe there. She has all of her friends, and she decides to go for it. Okay, after she meets the butterfly. So it's like, you know, this happens and it's such a great movie. You guys should see it. And so she decides to go. So this is, you know, where there is movement. So the advice is, I feel like it's saying, you know, with the Hermit energy, this is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's still a great time to reflect and all of that. but the energy is really going to pick up, and it really is about moving something forward. So this is Sag energy, Sagittarius. It's like, get on your horse and go, guys. Move it forward, whatever it is. It's fire energy, you know, Queen of Wands with the 8 of Wands. It's good news. So, you know, there's definite blessings here. Definite, you know, blessings. Stay confident, stay optimistic, like the Queen of Wands. Have confidence in yourself to do whatever it is, you know, whatever it is. Even if for some of you that means leaving something. It's also the energy of starting something new, endings and beginnings. So here is your beautiful advice. The Queen of Wands with the 8 of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sag, go. Like it is, and you know, direct that energy. The Charioteer, the chariot that came out, you know, he is directing that chariot with his will. It's a lot of solar plexus here, guys. So it's your inner sun. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere with the summer, you know, this even could be a nod to Leo season, that there's going to be really good news coming in for you around Leo season. So, all right, let's get one final message. We've gone 35 minutes. I'm going to use the Oracle deck, Conscious Spirit. What is the last message for the collective? Woo! We got 2 here. Okay. Sacral chakra, I feel comfortable in my own body and I am sensitive to other people's feelings. So that's really beautiful. This is, you know, your creative portal here, your sacral chakra, where you create from. It's the emotional realm as well. So the energy of orange, which is often even associated with Archangel Metatron, actually. The orange ray is Metatron. So there's excuse me, there's an opportunity here to do some emotional healing. So for some of you, like I said, we move through energies in all different speeds, and you may be in this healing place for sure. And you know, and it's not like a linear process. We spiral and we come back around, but we're always going higher and higher. So here's an opportunity for your healing. And it's also about the other people in your life, about being sensitive to them too. So everyone's going through it, you know, really and truly, everybody's going through it. And that is also part of this Queen of Swords. So if you've just been feeling like, even like just not even wanting to explain yourself to other people, I totally get that. Like while you're in this space, it can be where it's almost exhausting to have to explain everything that you're going through to other people. So maybe it is just about like seeing where you can express yourself a little bit to people who perhaps like you can feel them tugging on you, like they want to know what's going on with you. So there's that energy there. It's a really lovely energy. And this is definitely the Queen of Wands. You know, she's psychic in her own right. You know, she's a magic maker. It's that fire energy, so connected to spirit. So, anyway, feeling comfortable in your own body. So it is also the energy of the Queen of Wands and having confidence. Okay, no matter where you're at with your body or how, you know, just really turning that on and being courageous. So for some of you, it's just a side message. That's something that's happening inside of your Chariot energy. Slaying of the dragon could be around issues, or not issues, but you know, feelings about your physicality, your physical appearance. What's interesting is that I actually don't see really any Pentacles energy that came out in this reading. It's a lot of major arcana. It really is a lot of majors, and fire energy, and we've got air energy. So it's a lot of air and fire. We have the Page of Coins. So maybe this is like a new outlook on your physicality, like just loving yourself for exactly where you're at in this moment, you know. And the last card that came out was meditation. So that's going to be important. This feels like that Hermit energy, and it's just getting yourself into a quiet space. You know, meditation isn't just about like emptying your mind of nothing. I don't even know, like, is that possible? I guess it is. But it's just about quieting the mind, stopping the racing. And that's going to be important in Gemini season because it's air energy and it is of the mind. So doing whatever you need to do just to quiet your mind a bit. because that's where the universal wisdom will flow through you. So, so I think regardless, it is going to be about coming back to this energy throughout the next 30 days, let's just say. And this was a message for the week ahead, wasn't it? But I'm feeling it as like a bigger energy as we're doing this reading, I think, because there's so many major arcanas coming out. So it's for the week of June 6th, but it feels a lot bigger than that. It almost feels like a collective message for the whole month of June. So, and there was one card from the unicorn deck that just wanted to come out, and let's see what it is. The Five of Cups. So yeah, this is that Three of Swords, Five of Cups. And this is what I was talking about. Like, a lot of people are going through it, and it's individual for everybody. Grief and sadness, loss, disappointment, these five energies. And this is, you know, that energy of Pluto and the 8th house. So it really is like about honoring however it is that you're feeling, really and truly. There are days where I have so much energy and I'm ready to take on the world. And then there are days where my energy is so low and I just want to lay in bed and rest and not do anything. So I really do my best to honor that. Sometimes, you know, I got to do the thing, right? I have to do the things. But when I can honor it, it really is about honoring that. This is a time of change and transition. So we really have to honor each other and how we're all feeling. Try to come from a place of having compassion, you know, because we don't really know what everybody's going through. Maybe that's part of this Ace of Swords. You could be feeling like you really want to hear from other people and hear what other people in your life are going through. You know, this beautiful opportunity for communication, like higher level communication, not just like, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, it's higher level than that. It's about really wanting to connect. That's why the first card out in the whole reading was about friends. So it's about our connection into the collective. So even if this is like your community online, you know, your online community, it's about really honoring and valuing the things that like really make you feel good and are, you know, and the connections that you really want to nurture, and just also seeing where some of them just like they need to go. So Mercury retrograde, do not be afraid to reinvent the wheel. Reinvent the wheel, guys, okay? So that's going to do it. I love you so much. I hope that this was helpful. Take really, really good care. And oh, also tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday, I will be wrapping up all of the signs for the month of June. So I've got Cancer, Sagittarius, Leo, Scorpio, and there might be one, and Taurus. So I've got 5 more signs to do for the month of June. You guys, please let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. I'm here for you. I want to co-create with you. Some of you have reached out to me for personal readings, and I so appreciate that. So if you are interested in booking a session, it's elizabethlight1111@gmail.com. Please follow me on Instagram, Elizabeth Light Tarot. I do readings on there as well. So I've been pretty active posting, you know, little tidbits and little readings here and there. So that's going to do it, you guys. Have a great week, and I will talk to you all soon. Okay, namaste.